Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to be looking at investment opportunities within UK. There are so many of them. I'm going to be covering five, so many different ones. I'll be taking all this information from government's website, and I'm going to be discussing and perhaps sharing my own opinions on some of those opportunities. In this video, I'm going to be looking in particularly in control environment agriculture in North and West Yorkshire. I do understand everything about this industry. I have many years expertise. I have all qualifications and everything to work within this industry. So I'll be covering this industry in more detail. I don't know if, since I know everything about it, I don't know if I should try to understand other industries more. But if anything, I'll be sharing some feedback and my own personal experiences and biases and how discussing this industry. Companies in North and West Yorkshire are at the heart of the next agriculture revolution. Using control environment agriculture CEA techniques for food production. I have written a number of projects with a similar interest of currently everything's in the process, right? So nobody came up with the best way how to do it, but they have many people up there within UK, perhaps 15, perhaps 20 different projects had received to some extent funding or interest, and those projects are undergoing. Of which of the companies will win the contest and will become the best company, who will become with the best systems, process in place, or prices, and what kind of market share will they be able to dominate, and what would be key characteristics of how they're going to do it. If anything, for spectators there who are there interested, this is what's currently happening, right? To receive funding for those projects out there, if you are interested, you might need to fund in this particular area. There's so many different areas, right? To look at the most of that I had access to, depending on the time when you're looking at currently, or just 6 months ago, you had to give some percentage of your own funding, match funding. Sometimes it would request up to 50% of funding of your own capital, as well as you will need to have a strong business model, systems. You need to have unique point of view as well how of what you can bring into this industry, how you're going to do things better, right? In order to succeed against other companies within the industry. An opportunity exists to invest alongside a group of growing agri-tech companies in North and West Yorkshire to develop innovative farming techniques that will transform food security and the circular economy. So there's a potential there. Uh, if anything, there's a lot of projects, right? So and it take ways. So people who has extra capital, if they are interested, if it is something that you do understand, perhaps there will be a number of listed projects. If you would like to invest in those, you need to understand as well as do your own research. If it's something that you might be interested in, that's just one of the regions where they are looking to develop some of the projects as well as better understand the UK's industry and what UK is currently doing, how much of the products they're currently sourcing from outside. That will be about roughly 48, 52%, what they're currently sourcing within the UK's industry, as well as most likely the country gonna like to keep the things that way for some reason and focus more on the high tech industry, i.e., UK would be preferred to perhaps high value commodities, right? High tech, where they could source relatively cheap commodities, i.e., food or what will be required. So they prefer sourcing those materials currently in UK as well as other regions as well, like Japan, right? They prefer to buy food from outside and import food instead of growing everything in the house, right, within the country. But overall, I'm interested in this project just because I understand everything very well, how to do it. I don't know how expensive it can be, growing everything, and the energy costs, if anything, but output, the yield cost, perhaps how I can measure those kind of things, as well as how much land you can use, or what would be systems or processes that you would need to go to, how you can stack the different layers, right? So 6 layers, 8 layers, you can grow everything potentially this way. You can grow them within the lines, or what would be the process? So many different interesting projects out there. So whoever is interested, I would highly recommend taking a look at this sector. Let's take a look at the sector and market opportunity. There is a huge market potential for investors in control environment agriculture in North and West Yorkshire. Overall, the UK is only 61 self-sufficient in food. It again, depending on what kind of statistics they are looking at. Currently, I take out 2023 statistics. That was 48, but again, depending on what statistics you're looking at. Yeah, but it's about 61, uh, perhaps perhaps 61. But again, when this information was written, and but overall, I personally believe, that's my personal understanding, the government going to be looking at 50%, and based on the history, they perhaps we're going to be looking to constantly keep it about 50 and allocating more staff on high value commodities. Even if food is very important, it's always been within UK like that. It's always been importing 14 billion worth of fresh food every year. The fruit and vegetable wholesale market, for example, is worth 10.2 billion, with imports make up over 80% in fruit and over 50% of vegetable, giving a clear market opportunity for local grow produce by using control environments of agriculture. So potential is there. What would be cost effective? And again, if you were to develop any of those systems going to have to compete with outside market. So how you can package your product offering, again, I don't know, but there's a potential there. Control environment. Agriculture aims to create the opportunity of growing conditions, allowing year-round cropping of a wide range of high-value fresh produce close to the point of consumption. I would call it a 0 mile process, right? So everything would be sourced locally, ideally. That would be our target, but I don't know how hard it is to achieve that. Such techniques include vertical farming, aquaponics, that would be a fish, and how those both systems can work together. They could potentially function very well together based on some of the research that I have done. But I don't know how hard it is to implement those systems of vertical farming and aquaponics to work together, where you can potentially grow all necessary carbohydrates and proteins together, ideally. So, but those would might come from fish, right? But still protein and omega-3, so that would work great. Aeroponics and hydroponics. So there are a lot of different systems, and that's why they decided to call it control environment. These people seems like they know what they're doing. In particular, whoever written this bit, people do know what they're doing. Other opportunities also lie in the aspect of rearing for protein usage, potentially reducing the environmental impact of other proteins in animal feed and its bioeconomy. So I have noticed that. So some people do. Do not jump into worms or anything like that when we need protein. But whoever thinks about aquaponics and best way of producing necessary calories, and those people who understand nutrition, how to produce those, I see what kind of problems they're trying to solve with this particular system, and I think that could benefit large groups of people within the UK. Location: the area has grown in agri-tech industry and has encouraged the largest concentration of projects, startups, and technology companies in Europe. By locating in North and West Yorkshire, your business will be able to exploit an array of agri-tech assets, capabilities, and most importantly, a growing and sustained markets for your products. There is a strong market demand ongoing in the UK's high population density, with GDP per capita and significant segment on consumers who will pay a premium for added value fresh foods. If anything, now Then other projects trying to secure funding, a lot of government finance already went to some of those projects, right? So again, so government already supported a number of projects from what I'm understanding, right? So since it's very hard to make it cost effective, sometimes it can take many years, right, to become cost effective, depending on the scale. So once you're starting or producing everything at scale, it can be very costly process, right? So this is what's currently happening. And if you were there currently interested in sourcing any of the finance, perhaps I don't know if you can source again in the same area. Would you need to tap into different markets within the UK when then securing funding, right? Investors here can collaborate with more than 700 food production companies, 13,000 farms, and 25,000 workers. So there's demands there. There's a lot of potential there, and like I mentioned, if anything, which project is the best, and when it comes to delivering quality on time, whatever metrics you might set, right? Quality on time, cost effective, solving a problem, all the nutrition values that people might be interested in receiving, right? Just to share an example with you, for people out there who are following what's happening in the world, in Venice, Italy, they have taxpayers, government spend a lot of money on a system which can potentially prevent of floods and global warming and everything what's happening in the world, right? So we have built the system, so taxpayers spend a lot of money on a system, existing system, which works kinda, I guess, but they already thinking about the better systems, how we can improve existing system, one system that they already spend a lot of money on. So now they need to take some time before they can allocate a lot of money again into those projects, right? To improve even better systems or build another system, right? Just because they spend a lot of money already. So even if you were to understand any of those food projects or agri-tech overall industry, if you were to secure, looking to secure finance, and government already spend a lot of money on some of those projects. Perhaps I don't want to discourage any of the people out there, but perhaps depending on the region, perhaps you might be interested in perhaps investing in already existing projects, not necessarily having that much control, which is not necessarily for everyone. But perhaps investing in other projects, not necessarily starting your own project. But yeah, there's the different options there. For people out there who are interested in learning more, I have published a book, Project Fifth Law. In this book, I'm sharing a lot of information with the people who are interested in understanding more about, if anything, nutrition. Some of those topics that I'm covering in this book, as well as rest periods, as well as working out and lifting weights. Working out and looking better is something that you're interested in, feeling better, if you're thinking about what you actually are eating as well as your rest periods. And if anything, I can personally, it's my personal journey that I have taken within fitness industry, how hard it can be. So I have written this book so it would be easy to pick up, easy to understand, as well as progressing into very advanced concepts, and of which I'm sharing in this book how we can potentially begin making money out of lifting weights, working out. So it's a full circle, right? So you can find it in the description below, as well as Top Leaders has this book. Let's take a look at research and expertise. The region has abundance of accomplished research facilities, including crop health and protection, Agri-Tech Innovation Center, Global Food and Environment Institute, National Pig Center, Stock Breed Technology Center, York Biotech Campus. So there might be a lot of opportunities there. And overall, if anything, I would highly recommend to do your own research before making up your mind and making any of the decisions up there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.